Hello, students. Welcome to online classes of Semstar Global School. I am Fizza Akhtar, and from today we are starting with our English literature syllabus for Unit 1. So let's see what we have to do in this, and we'll go chapter wise. So you just have to follow me. Theme of the chapter: Wonders of Travel. Chapter 1: Darwin Diaries, written by Alan Gibbons. This is part 1 of the chapter, and in this part, I'm going to tell you basically about the summary. So, before moving ahead, let me tell you a bit about this author. His full name is Alan Albert Gibbons, and an English writer of children's books. In 2000, he won the Blue Peter Book Award for his famous book, The Book I Couldn't Put Down. Now, I'm going to tell you about a very famous personality. So, I am going to give you a quick idea regarding a person around whom this whole story is actually revolving. He is Charles Darwin. His full name is Charles Robert Darwin, and he was an English naturalist. Naturalist means a person who studies or is an expert in natural sciences like zoology or botany and so on. So, this person was a British naturalist, and he was also a geologist and biologist, and he was best known for his contributions to the science of evolution. Science of evolution is also known as the scientific theory of evolution. What actually happened here was, this man, he had this idea, or he had this thing in his mind, that evolution can be observed through a biological process of reproduction, keeping in mind several aspects like your heritability, or the traits of species that can pass over from generation to generation over a period of time. In simple language, if I can tell you that humans have also evolved from the species of apes. They kept on growing, and from generation to generation we have finally evolved as human beings. So this concept, or this fundamental concept, was actually brought by Charles Darwin. So in this chapter, what happens is, it's a story of a 5-year long historic expedition. Expedition means a voyage that Charles Darwin has started along with his assistant named James Kincaid. And through this expedition, what all information he collected regarding different creatures and species and animals, that is all what we have to study about. And whatever information he actually collected there on different creatures and species during his journey on those islands, he actually wrote it down in one of his very famous book named On the Origin of Species, that was published in the year 1859. So let's see what all happened during his expedition. Before I move towards the chapter, there are few words for which you should be knowing the correct pronunciation. So let's see. There are certain important words. Please note it down very carefully and keep noting down the important meaning, whatever I am telling you. That would be good for your future reference as well. Here are few words. The first one is the name of a person, Charles Darwin. Next is, again, he was an assistant to Charles Darwin, and his name is James Kincaid. Third, Galapagos Island. What it is? Galapagos. Next is Chatham Island. Chatham Island. Fifth one is Albemarle. Albemarle Island. And the last one is iguana. What it is? Iguana. Please, it's my humble request, rewind the video and hear the pronunciations once again. I have told you I'll give you a short summary in this part of the video. So let's see what is written here. This is a story of a 5-year-old historic expedition of a British naturalist, Charles Darwin, based on which he wrote his famous book on the origin of species. This account is narrated by 10-year-old James Kincaid through a series of entries in his diary. James is thrilled to have been chosen as assistant to Darwin on the voyage aboard HMS Beagle. He helps Darwin collect information on different creatures during the journey. In this extract, James, now 15, recounts their journey to the Galapagos Islands between 15th September to 20th October 1835. So, as I've told you, James Kincaid, being a 10 to 12, 15-year-old boy, and he's an assistant to Darwin, he's writing all the information that was collected by Charles Darwin on his expedition, on his voyage, or you can say journey on different islands. So he's writing in all the information in his diary. And they went from island to island on a very famous ship named HMS Beagle. It was a very Royal Navy ship that took part in 3 survey expeditions. And because Charles Darwin took it for the second time on his voyage, so it became one of the most famous ships in history. Because Charles Darwin was a very famous and a very big scientist, naturalist, so during his journey, his expedition, whatever conclusions he made, whatever exploration he has done, or whatever idea he got from the creatures and species that he had seen on his journey, he noted it down in one of his famous books named On the Origin of Species. So we will also study about his expedition, his experiences, whatever he had seen there, whatever he had concluded from those explorations. We have to study in this, but obviously I'll continue this in the later part of the video. Until then, you have to keep revising, keep studying. Take care, everybody. Please do revise the chapter once again. And thank you.